Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun with the new Cinema 4D release. I know that sometimes it's a little bit hard to not get frustrated, but Cinema 4D is still kind of the default software for most of the studios and clients that I work with. So I'm just making the best out of it. Okay, sorry, I just recognized I was rushing through this too fast, but at the same point, I don't want to make a whole debate about this. If 3D artists, if Cinema 4D, if all of that stuff will still stay relevant with the continuation of AI taking over all kind of industries and fields. So I don't really know, okay? But the thing is, still Cinema 4D is very accessible and very fast to use. If you know how to use it right, then the tools are all there. And of course, other tools like Houdini will give you way more complex, for example, rigid body simulations. But you can still see for, I would say, faster projects where this expert level is not needed. For example, you can see here, this is also a quite beautiful rigid body simulation, even though that I already ranted about Cinema 4D's rigid bodies. And I mean, there are a lot of things that could be better and should be better. So for example, even though that Cinema 4D included fluid tools, I'm still using and teaching more the liquid gen stuff. For example, you can see you can use liquid gen for also these MoGraph projects. And I think it's just the perfect add-on to your toolkit if you are a 3D generalist and you want to use fluids also in your tools. I mean, you can see you can create beautiful stuff with liquid gen that you definitely can't create in that complexity with the Cinema 4D fluid tools. So yes, there is a lot to rant about when it comes about the latest Cinema 4D releases. I still have the feeling that even when 2026 is now coming, I will still use Cinema 4D for my clients. And I don't know what the future is bringing, so I don't want to make this one too long. Come on, let's just go into the practical stuff. And you could write into the comments what you will think about the future of our industry, if Cinema 4D is just going down or will it still be relevant? Should I quit teaching Cinema 4D and switch to other tools, or should I quit teaching at all and learn another job, something that is more usable in the future, like working with animals or the forest? I don't know, something like that. Yeah, maybe you can tell me your opinion, okay? And now let's just have some fun, all right? Forgot to mention that you can learn a lot of the things that I just showed you about Cinema 4D and liquid gen and all of the good stuff here on my Patreon, okay? A lot of people already trust me. You can see that I post regularly and you can also join for free. And now let's just build something, all right? And I just want to play a little bit more with the new Cinema 4D stacking modes, distribution modes. How is it called? It's not so intuitive. Okay, distribution type. You have to set this one to advanced. Then you have to go to the browser here and select one of these distribution modes. Today I want to work with the cannonball mode to just stack some bean soup cans on top of each other and then destroy it. So yeah, I just thought this one would be a fun example. And we could just go here to the asset browser and search for a can. Let me just see this one. Okay, Maxon, I don't want to have a candle holder. Why don't you give me the cans as a first search result here? Okay, anyway, let me choose the can orange. Of course, if you are more on the drinking side, you can also do this one with a beer. But yeah, I will just work with this orange can and I will just right click on this one, connect objects and delete. And you can see that this one is quite a dense object. And by the way, the metal shader here is a bit too dark for me. So I will just go into the shader network here and I think I want to connect the color also to the emission color. Let me just go down there and put this one maybe to 2, not 23, maybe to 2. Yeah, something like this one. I just want to have this a bit brighter in the viewport. The thing is, when we want to now work with the stacking, I mean, we can already do this one, put it into the cloner. You can see that we get this little pyramid here. And by the way, this one is too bright. So I will just reduce this one. And this is just for a viewport, okay? I don't want to render an emissive nuclear orange juice. So there you go with the stacking. I mean, if you are here just for the stacking, I can quickly talk about this one. But then I want to make a rigid body simulation and just destroy this can, okay? I mean, when you see something like this in the supermarket, I'm sure you have the same impulse to just push it. And yeah, this feeling got me already quite into some trouble with supermarkets anyway. So you can see the advanced mode here, the cannonball distribution. So you will have different options here. This one, little pyramid, okay, but you could also set this one to a grid. I wouldn't stack it like this. I'm sure I will lose my job on the first day. Maybe something more with a quad pyramid. Let me see this one. Yes, I'm just curious what will happen when I put this one to 5 and this one to 2. Okay, I understand it. I think that this one will be the best mode here. Let me put this one to 10, 20. So you could make this pyramid a little bit longer, for example, like this. And we want to put this one to 6 or 7. Of course, you can put this one also to 8 or 10 to get a perfect pyramid now. All right. But now, you know what? Just for now, the simulation part of this one, if you are still with me, come on, then it's time to destroy this one. And by the way, I did a similar simulation already when the new rigid body update was coming out already 100 weeks ago, almost. Okay, so you can see that the system is quite stable if you know how to use it. But I think that just the stacking now got a bit more easy. So yeah, this was the part about the cannonball distribution. But now let's try to put this one once again into a rigid body simulation. Okay, so if you are still with me, let's just do this one. And I think that first I want to make a little bit screen estate here. And of course you could put this one directly into a rigid body simulation, but I think it will be easier to work with a little bit of a proxy object. So how about we just try this one with a cube? I want to scale this one up to a size like this. Press C, make this one editable. Let's move this one up here to the top of the can, and this one, you guessed it already, to the bottom of the can, something like this. You could also set this one to X-ray to just see the can inside of the cube now. Press UB for the ring selection, go to the lines and just select those rings. Press MS for the bevel tool, and let's just bevel this one until we are intersecting with our high poly object. Okay, we just want to build a low poly proxy for the simulation, something like this one. And it's not that necessary anymore to work with low poly objects for the rigid body simulation, but I think for this can, because this one is quite intense on the poly side. Let me just show you this one. So it's quite a dense model here, and I just hope that I can make the simulation a little bit more easy on the system. So one last thing that we have to adjust for the proxy is that the orange can has the axis down there, but the proxy, let's just call this one low, for example. Okay, it has it in the center. So let's go to the points mode, select the points down there, go to axis center. If you don't have it here, you can press Shift C and search for axis center. There you go. Yeah, just move it into your layout, for example, axis to all points. No, we want to move this one to the selected points. It would be clever to select points first. So let's do it like this. Now you will see that the axis for our object, okay, the heating thing is making strange noises today. That's crazy. Maybe some paranormal activity if you believe in ghosts. Man, I'm just not focused today. So where is my axis now? So there definitely must be a ghost around here because my axis also disappeared. Okay, it's a little bit hard to work without it. Yeah, I must have pressed Alt D, but I didn't press Alt D. So there is something strange going on today. But anyway, you can see axis down there, also here for my low poly object. So let's put this low poly object into the cloner. And I think I want to use this one now for my simulation. Let's put also the floor into it. Let's press NB to see the floor. And you can see that the cannonball distribution is giving you this color mapping options, but for now I think I want to just set this one to constant. Let's put this one back to a gray value. So this one will be the simulation. And now let's just see this one if there are some intersections here. So you can see the system is clever enough to get the distance right. Man, I just can't focus like this. What's going on here? Maybe there's an animal in the pipes. I don't know. Okay. Alright, so you can see that the system is clever enough to get the distance right between the objects. I just think when you want to do a rigid body simulation, then you will give this one a little bit of a distance. So let me just quickly do this one. Maybe a gap of 0.1 could be fine. Okay, something like this one between the cans. You can see in the height, you can set this one to maybe 1 or maybe 1.3 or maybe 1.5. I'm not exactly sure why the distance in the height isn't calculated correctly. So how about pressing Control and let's just scrub through this one in increments of 0.1. And this heating today is driving me crazy. What is this? Anyway, we got the distance right. So this one is looking good. Now I think that we could set a rigid body tag onto this one. Let's just go over here, put the rigid body tag on this one. And maybe we want to reduce the search radius to 0.1. And also on the floor, we want to put a collider. Okay, this is looking good. I think we don't want any bounciness, but maybe a friction of 1 or 2, something like this one. And let me just press Control D. Let's go over to the simulation and let's enable the rigid body shape for the visualization, just to see the container around it. And I think for the gravity, I want to keep this one a little bit more gentle, so it will sag down. But if you have this intense gravity here, then probably in the beginning the cans will directly go through the floor. So we want to first reduce this one to get an initial state for this one, I think. Okay, let's just see what we have here. So all of this one is looking good, and we could just do one last final check for the cloner here. Let me just see this one. So we want to trigger this one immediately. Yes, you could also trigger it on collision if you want to have, for example, a cannonball or a little robot or a crazy human just going through it. You can put a collider tech onto it. And I'm sure someone is piping in some gas here into this room. I must have some enemies out there for sure. Let me just simulate this one. Oh, you can see it just sags down. The simulation is stable, so we could also get rid of the drawing mode. So this one is looking good. Let me just see this one more time. You can see this one is just falling down into a stable position like this one. So you could actually just go there and maybe set the initial state. Okay, let's set this one. Now let's just go back to 0. And now when you would simulate this, yes, you will have a stable state from the beginning. This is looking good. You could also get rid of the deactivation modes here. And now maybe what you want to do now is to just go to the cloner here and put the orange can into this one. And we want to put this one to the object mode, make this one maybe invisible and set this one to instance. Just be careful. Maybe first we want to put a cube into the scene and put this one to the cube. All right, you have to be careful because you have to set this one to axis to not get a crazy amount of cans first. So this is why I first put it onto the cube, just to get access to the distribution mode axis. Okay, now you can put this one onto your other cloner and kill the cube here. Press NA. Now you can see this cloner here is putting the orange cans onto the cloner. You can make the low object invisible, just show this one. And now still this one should be a stable simulation. You can see this one here. And now you could maybe just let a cannonball just roll through it. So I'm just putting this one over here, give it some keyframes, put this one to 200. Let's move over here, let the cannonball run through it. A cannonball, what a crazy coincidence here. Put also a collider onto this one, and hopefully I didn't mess this one up, but hopefully now, yeah, there you go, you get a cool simulation here. And of course you can make this with way more clones and still you get the beautiful simulation. So yeah, just wanted to play a little bit here. And by the way, if you want to learn more, as always, you can consider to support me on my Patreon. There is a lot more training over there. And now I just wish you a lot of fun with destroying little pyramids of soup or soda. Possibilities here are now endless. Just wanted to show you how you can have a little bit of fun with the new stacking modes. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next tutorial. Bye everyone.